Hey everybody, it's Amber Ray and welcome to my channel. I am here tonight to talk to you guys about something personal, okay? Something very personal. And it's basically being overweight and what it did to me in my life. Basically, I've been overweight my whole life. Whole life. I remember being um probably 11 years old and the doctor telling my mom like she has to lose weight because she is severely obese. And my mom always told me, no, you don't even like, you're fine, you don't need to lose weight. And I thought the same thing. Like, I didn't think I was that big to where I was severely obese, but I was. Well, I was, because there's only so much your body can handle. And I can say that being overweight ruined a lot of my childhood. Like, from making friends to being insecure to going to school. Like, if you don't feel good about yourself, then how are you going to go to school and perform the way you're supposed to if you don't feel good about yourself? Like, you can't. So yeah, I think that if I hadn't been overweight my whole life, like, I would have been so much better off. Like, I think I would have been better in school. Like, because I remember, like, all I ever cared about was what I look like. What are people thinking about me? Like, you know, that's all I ever cared about. And that's all that was ever on my mind. Like, do I look okay? Is my hair messed up? Do I look fat? Like, yeah, this goes back, like, I want to say this started when I was probably 9. I started caring about how I looked, and probably 11 or 12 is when weight really started to take a toll on my life. I could never be around a group of girls because I always felt like I was so ugly because I was so overweight. And then, being middle school, being high school, kids like to tell you that, and yeah, it just really messed me up. So, um, this year I decided, no, last year I decided, like, I don't want to be overweight anymore. And I've tried my whole life to lose weight. I've done diets, I've done this, and I just, it's not working for me. So I decided to get weight loss surgery. And I ended up getting the gastric sleeve. And basically that is when they go in and they remove half of your stomach. And I got my surgery in February of this year, 2019, and now it is July 2019. I have lost 60 pounds, and I am so happy that I made a change for my life, because if I hadn't, like, I started beauty school in June 2018, right? I was still insecure. Like, here I am, 22 years old. I'm not in high school anymore. I'm not in middle school anymore. I'm still insecure. Like, I just kind of hid back in the corner. I kind of didn't want to be seen. I didn't want my picture taken. Like, like when they would dance around and play around, like, I would kind of like laugh and be the shy girl. Like, didn't want to like engage in anything. And I mean, losing 60 pounds changed me completely. I feel good. I have energy. Like, it's easier for me to get up every day. I feel like so good about myself. And, surgery is not the answer for everybody. And I would not recommend surgery for anybody that has not tried to lose weight on their own the natural way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't recommend it. But what I do recommend is, if you are struggling with your weight, do something about it. Do something about it, because I promise you, you're going to feel so good after. Like, I feel so good about myself. I care about myself a lot more. Like, I'm realizing my full potential, you know, like I've always been this person. I've always been this person. I've just been hiding behind all that fat, you know, like my personality was hidden behind that fat. My happiness was hidden behind that weight. Like everything. And I just feel like now I'm out. Like now I'm coming out to be the person that I want to be. Like now I have the motivation to do, you know, what I've always dreamed about, because I don't feel like I can't. I feel like I can. And you know, I'm sad that I didn't feel that way when I was heavier, you know, like, but I was just too heavy. Like I had got to a point, I was 225 pounds. That is the highest, that's my max weight. Like that's when I was, that's before I went into surgery. That had been the heaviest I had ever been in my life, and I was just done. Like I didn't want to live like that anymore, and I tried to lose weight on my own, and I just wasn't successful. So I did what I had to do, and I got a little bit of assistance, and it worked out for me. And to talk about the surgery, so basically I went in for surgery. You know, they checked me in. Then I finally went into surgery. I got out. I went into recovery. I stayed in the hospital for one night. Um, Next day I went home. I ended up getting a little bit more sick than normal people do. I was really dehydrated. I had to be hooked up to IVs, and it was a long process. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was a long process. So this video is not to encourage you to go out and get weight loss surgery of any means. All this video is to do is to tell you my story and what worked for me, and how happy I am now that I made a change in my life. And now I'm here making my first YouTube video, and I'm about to get my life started. So I had to see a doctor once a month for 6 months. And every appointment I had to talk about what I did differently that month, you know, what diet I was on that month, like my exercise. Like we would just go everything that I did for the month, regarding weight loss and health and eating habits and all of that. So I did that once a month for 6 months, and every time that I went, my doctor would have to fill out a paper, and I would have to have him fax it to my surgeon's office, you know, and it was called a monthly weigh-in. So that was part of it. Another part of it was I had to see I had to have like a psych evaluation. I had to have a psych evaluation basically to show them that I know what I'm doing, you know, that I'm not crazy, and that I'm in the right state of mind, you know. So that was another thing. I had to see a nutritionist. I had to, you know, have a reason. My doctor had, I had to have a reason, you know, why I needed the surgery. Mine was joint pain and muscle pain, on, you know, too much weight on the body. And after I did all of that, then my surgeon's office submitted all that information to my insurance company, which I basically have access, and I was approved. So I want to say 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after the doctor's office submitted the information to the insurance, they contacted me back and told me that I was approved for surgery. And I want to say 2 to 3 weeks after that, I was actually booked for surgery. So yes, that's how that happened, and that's a little bit about me. My first YouTube video. Here I am, 60 pounds later, feeling good, happy, you know, and ready to get life started. So, with all of that being said, please forgive me for, you know, rambling on, repeating myself, and forgive me for the flies that got in the house because the door was left open. But nothing's stopping me from making this video today because, you know, one of my good friends, I told her, you know, she's like, what are you going to do this weekend, girl? I said, oh, you know, I'm going to go home, start my YouTube channel. And she said, girl, if I had a nickel for every time you said that, I said, you know what, that's exactly what I needed to hear, because if I had a nickel for every time I said it, like, imagine if you had a nickel for every time you heard me say I was going to start my YouTube channel. You'll be rich. But if I had a nickel for every time that I heard me say, or I have said that I was going to start my YouTube channel, I'll be a millionaire, okay? So, stay tuned, y'all. Subscribe to my channel. And yes, I'm happy with who I am today. I'm happy where I'm at. And I don't ever want to go back to where I was. I don't ever want to let food take that much control over my life to where I gain so much weight that I'm so unhappy with myself and that I, you know, can't lose it on my own. Like, I don't ever want to go back there. I didn't have surgery to go back to where I was. I had surgery to change my life, and that's what I did. And I will never go back to where I was. Never. I'm here to stay, okay? Get ready, y'all. Keisha is out. Okay.
Guys is on the beat.